All right. Today is 12/12/2022, and this is our Mindset Mondays discussion. Usually, this is for the killer whales, but we're going to do this one for everybody so that you guys can get a little glimpse of the mental side of trading and what we put together in this Discord, what makes this Discord and just this community so freaking awesome and just different from everybody, right? So, um, yeah. Today we're going to be talking about something that's very important and critical. I have released to the world some time ago my own proprietary journaling method. Right now, you can certainly write down your wins and losses on a blank piece of paper. That's up to you. Right? Doesn't work, but you can do it. Okay. There should be a tracking method. It's more important than just knowing that you won and that you lost are all of the peripheral or secondary things that affect the trade. So I have a day trading journal. You can go over to in the Discord. You can go over to the Killer Wells, the trading resources channel. That is, and you can click it right now. It's on Amazon. Later, it'll be on our site. So by the time you hear this, it may be on the site. But there'll be a link in the Discord somewhere for the trading journal. There's some benefits of it. However, today we're just going to talk about the power of journaling and tracking your trades. Our guest today is going to be JB Smo, one of our awesome moderators extraordinaire. We're going to get to know JB Smo a little bit and talk about her journey and get some insight on and some tips on what has helped her continuously work toward success in the market, the ups, the downs, all of it. And we're going to get into that right now. JB Smo, are you with me?
I'm here. Hi.
Excellent. How you doing?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm doing well. You sound like you're in good spirits as always, and we're happy to have you.
Yes, thank you. I'm happy to be here. When you were like, you want to do Mindset Mondays? I'm like, see, I would love to.
Indeed. Well, I think you have a it's why we appreciate you being a moderator as well. Well, you have an awesome personality. You have a good just an awesome take on life, your experience, your drive, your accomplishments, even your successes and areas of opportunity, things that you feel are setbacks or whatnot. We can learn from all of those. So I think it's important for people to hear hear your story, hear your journey, and just really hear a little bit about who JB Smoot is and really how you've become and continuously work on being a good trader, because that's all it's about. All of us, it's
Right.
about progress, not perfection, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel like today's Mindset Monday, as we're talking about journaling, we'll see of that, of it's really a lot more process more than it is about getting it right every single time. And that's something that
You're cutting out, Jay. You're cutting out in and out your mic. I don't know if it's on my end or your, but you're cutting out. We didn't catch what you said there. Can you
oh,
adjust
really?
a little bit? Yeah.
Yes. Give me one
You
second.
may have like an omnidirectional mic. So yeah, just make sure you're up on the mic or something like that, because it's not picking you up. So you let us know when you're ready, just because we can't hear you right now.
Can you hear me better now?
Say it again.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah. I think you're just going to have to speak up into it or something like that. But I'll let you know if it goes out again. But
Okay.
go ahead and talk. So yeah. So you mentioned it wasn't. You said something about it being about something about success. What did you say there?
Oh, I said, yeah, how you said it's really not about perfection, but it's about progression in the
Hmm.
process. And I
Hmm.
was saying, like, this Mindset Monday is perfect, that we're talking about journaling, because that's something that I had to come in. And that's something that I had to realize, because I think I was more focused on the perfection of it, getting
And
it
make
right
and
every
making money and making money. Tell the
and
truth.
making money. I mean, hey, come on. Let's all be honest. Making money. That's the big picture here. But sometimes being hyper focused on that, and that's me. I was super hyper focused on making the money and being perfect every time, and that actually became my
Yes.
downfall. Than it
Yeah.
was, yeah,
Yeah.
my up.
So let's start there. I think because you and I have had plenty conversations,
Yeah.
plenty words of wisdom and uncle moments and
Yes.
very proud of you and your success and your ability. What we like about you in the Discord is your ability to pivot, to reassess and readjust. And I can say that about you for sure. You're not going to give up in any way, and you can see it reflecting in your trading. But let's start with just, you, right? Tell us about yourself and how you were introduced really to the market and to the Wealth Wells.
Absolutely. So my name is Jessica. I'm 27 years old. I actually just had my birthday yesterday, so I just turned 27. I live in the D.
You're still young. You're still young.
Yeah. Okay. I feel so old, but I live in the DMV and I've been trading for now coming up on 2 years. In February, it'll actually be 2 years. And I think in April, it'll actually be 1 year that I've been in the Wealth Wells, which is crazy to me.
Wow,
So,
very nice.
right? Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I got into trading when the whole AMC and GameStop was happening. And at that time, I had just started a business a year prior. And the business was a hair business and it was online and it became very, very successful. And so I started hearing about people saying, like, you should invest the money. You should invest the money. At that time, I was living at my parents' house. So, I mean, all the money that was coming in was just coming into me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's this investing thing that's going on? So I ended up joining several different discords and putting my money into the market immediately. I pick up things quickly. And so when it came to the market, I felt like, oh my gosh, this is another thing that I could just pick up, learn quickly, and I could do it. Now, I ended up making upwards towards 6 figures in the market when I first entered at that whole AMC time. So that did not help my mindset of feeling like I can master anything in 2 days. So I'm here like, oh my gosh, I got it. 6 figures. I've earned it. I knew I could do this. And that all changed after I lost the full entire money because I didn't know any risk. Yeah, everything. And I mean, I didn't even think that it would affect me the way it did, but it ended up affecting me so much, just even mentally, outside of trading. So I lost it all and I just kept going back at it and back at it and back at it. And the reality started to hit me that this thing is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. And so from there, though, I had already began to fall insanely in love. I mean, I'm at the club looking at charts. Okay.
How about that?
Insanely in love with trading and the techniques. And I've always just been a natural problem solver, even in my business. I mean, I just have to go after it and get it before. I just have to go after it. And so I fell in love. And so I just kept going back and I kept going back and I kept going back and trying every single day, just looking at different charts, looking at different things. Just trying to develop my knowledge in the market. And so the way I found the Wealth Wells was one day I was trading in another Discord, and I mean, everybody had their own techniques that they told me to do. So this was probably like my 10th, and I'm not even kidding. This is like my 10th Discord. They're telling me a different way to do it. And then somebody in the Discord said, oh, just know that whenever you're looking at any other chart or any other company, just make sure you're always looking at SPY as well, because SPY is the one that's going to determine what direction anything goes in. And I'm like, wait, what? What does that mean? They're like, if SPY is going down, then it's likely that all the other companies are going down too. This is likely that all the other companies are going down too. And I'm like, really? So why don't I just trade SPY? Why don't I just trade one thing? And I remember a long time ago, Warren Buffett, I was watching something of his and he said, I don't have to know everything. I just have to know one thing and like master it or something like that. Side note. Right. Boom.
I love it. Go ahead.
Yes. Side note, when I was 16 years old, I actually went to this thing. I used to go to a lot of just different random things. And I met Warren Buffett. I actually took a picture with him and everything. And I had absolutely no idea who he was. And we had a great conversation. He told me he loved my personality. And I actually asked him to be his intern. But yeah, so
I love, and that's what I said. JB Smo will go for it. I mean, like, she will absolutely swing for the fence no matter what.
Every time. every time I had no idea who he was, they said he's super important. I said, okay, I'm gonna talk to him.
I love it.
I'll share the picture of me and him in the Discord after this. But I remember him saying that, and I'm like, okay, yes, let me just master one thing. So then I go on YouTube and I'm like, how to trade SPY. Boom. KD, the Wealth Wells, and the rest has been history since. And here I am in the Wealth Wells almost a year later. So that's how we came to know each other. Because I said I just need to know how to trade one thing and master it. And and there was a couple different videos, but the way you would explain stuff, and I think the simplicity that you put towards it, and not necessarily because the market is a complex place, but the simplicity that you put towards it when it comes to VVP is really what caught me. Like, more simplified. You know how I'm here at a place where I just simplified my trading to one stock to one stock. And then now he's telling me that this is all you need. The rest of everything, because I think I'm also a person who gets really overwhelmed very quickly. And so because you kind of just put everything together and it's like, okay, the big picture is all this, all the EMAs, SMAs, this and this and that. It all comes back into just these three things, and just focus on this. And yeah, so
yeah, I'm so happy somebody else said that.
Mhm.
I'm so happy, very nice, because that's the truth, and I'm glad that and you have the sentiments the same as others who have found the Discord, and we're small,
Yeah.
we're small, and I haven't you guys know. I'm not concerned with the views and all that stuff. Ultimately, we'll grow, but the reality is you want the right people and those who want to trade this thing the right way. I teach traders how to focus on the S&P, SPY, SPX, ES, and crush it. The idea is to come out of the day profitable.
Absolutely.
The idea is not to argue with people about what tickers are best. The idea is not to say to someone, look at my screens, bro. I got a lot of screens. The idea is not to say I put a lot of triangles and circles. And the idea is not to be right in front of everybody all the time. The idea is to be profitable. To do that, you need to understand the core fabric. You can move to other things in the next 5 years. That's fine. But if you understand the fabric, how the market works, this skill will pay. You can go into a dark room and come out with capital. No problem. All right. So I appreciate you saying that. All right. So how would you describe your trading journey right now?
So my trading journey right now, I would say that how we emphasize the not perfection but progression. I feel like I'm finally at the place where I'm falling in love with the process.
Nice.
I know you say I know you say it every day. And I feel like after losing all the money in 2021 and just every other part of my life when it even comes to like my business and just different stuff, but really after losing the money, it really affected me because then I was thinking like, dang, I could have bought my mama a house.
Yes.
Dang, I could have helped so many people. And
so we're not gonna say, unless J Beast Mode down the road, she'll tell you guys, but I will say it for her to be at a young age to make the money that she did make, it wasn't a small figure, and it was certainly substantial. I will say that. And I'm gonna tell you, it doesn't matter who you are, that's gonna affect you mentally. So can you just talk a little bit about, you mentioned something earlier. You said that when you took that large loss, it affected your mindset even outside of the market. What did you mean by that?
So I felt like it's so crazy because I'll get into later as well about how the market has shown me even flaws of me in just my regular life. It's so crazy. It's so crazy how it works. But mentally, it just affected me in ways that's like, I feel like I just messed up so bad. I felt like I messed up so bad. I feel like, dang, why was I so greedy? I felt like I just felt, it just felt like there was a heaviness on me. And it's so crazy because I didn't think that it would affect me that way when it happened. It took a couple of days for it actually to hit me. When the money was really, really gone, it took a couple of days for me to be like, dang, I really, like, this was really there and I really could have took it out. And I really didn't. Like, I just really messed up all this money. So it really just took a mental toll. I mean, it was heavy. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I promise you I was depressed. It was so weird for me to connect that this thing was making me feel this way. So
Yeah.
I think that's why it even took me some time to really grasp that. Yet the disappointment of it, I was just so disappointed in myself. Like, I really, really have failed, or I really, really did fail this. So it really
Yeah.
took a toll on me. I remember I told my mom one day, like, I think I'm depressed because of this. And it's just so weird because I just didn't think that it could affect me like that, but it really did.
Mhm.
That I've never had something like that happen to me. You know, I mean, it was tangible. I don't even know how to put into words all the way, but yeah, it was just the feeling of feeling really disappointed about what I did.
That's what it
Yeah.
was, and it
Yeah.
was and oftentimes, it's the swiftness and the inability of a trader or a person to catch themselves because they don't
Yes.
understand what's happening.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of times
Perfect.
traders get this, and we've talked about this, you and I and other traders, they get something that we call shell shock, right? And it's just
Yes.
like you're like, "Uh-oh, what do I do?" And primarily, it's because they don't have the experience in the market or just the experience in this environment to put the risk management in place to say, "All right, I gotta cut it here." Instead, they
Absolutely.
say, I don't know if I should cut it. And then they lose more. And I don't know if I should cut it. And they lose, and before you know it, it's gone. And you begin to beat yourself up because when you do the playback, it's slow. It's like,
Yes.
well, I could have, but the reality is the playback always happens a lot slower than the reality.
Yes.
You didn't see that in the moment, it's gone. You got to move on and improve the skills, and you'll be fine.
Yes, but that shell you just put it all into everything that I couldn't say, you just took it all. I don't know how you just took my words and like literally put it into exactly what I was thinking but couldn't get out. The shell shock of it all of that, like not really knowing what I was doing, and then this happens and it happens fast, and all of that. All of
Yeah.
that is exactly what I was feeling. So I think so. Going back to the question of the part of my trading that I'm in right now, I think after losing that money for a long time, even sometimes I would be like, oh, okay, no, I'm fine, I'm fine. It was still in the back of my head. And that's why you always say, Jess, you are chasing the money. You are chasing the money until you
Mhm.
get your mind off of always chasing the money. You're never going to be able to grow the way that you need to grow. And I think for a long time, I was looking for that perfection that, like, I got to get the money back. I got to get the money back. I got to get the money
Yeah.
back. And I wasn't falling in love with the process. And I feel like it really is. When you say the 2 to 5, 3 to 5 years, I completely understand it now. At first, when you used to say that, I'd be like, I don't know about y'all, but me, I'm gonna I'm gonna be completely profitable by next Tuesday, like consistently profitable by next Tuesday. But no, but now I completely understand that this really is a process, and every single day that you do it, you really do get better. And that goes into again into the journaling, and how we're going to talk about that in the next question. That um, it really showed me exactly what I'm tracking myself, and I see myself, and I can finally, look back and see what I'm doing. And it's making me fall in love with the process because now
Yeah.
I'm fine tuning myself. I can actually see what's happening and fix it, see what's happening here and fix it. So yeah, the part of my journey, my trading journey that I'm in right now is I'm finally falling in love with the process, and I'm growing. I'm really growing.
Excellent. And we can see it. Certainly we can see it, and we can see your I can, and I'm sure a lot of the mods can, and those who in the Killer Wells. So you mentioned journaling. So
Mhm.
let's talk a little bit about that. How how has journaling played into this growth, into your growth as a trader, and how do you track your trades?
Absolutely. So for a long time, I would watch interviews, and I love watching interviews. I love watching people talk about trading. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm living through them, or I'm just so obsessed with this thing that I will watch hours and hours of trading and podcasts. I can't wait till you come out with yours, by the way.
It's
And
coming.
yes, and something that they would say often, I mean, almost every trader would be like, my trading changed as soon as I started journaling. My trading changed as soon as I started journaling. Like journaling was such a big part. And every single time I would hear that, I'd be like, okay, that's nice, but I can just remember my trades, which is so odd of me to say. I don't even know why I would think that. I'd be like, no, I'll just remember it. Like, I didn't even want to take the time to do it. And that goes back again into like me chasing something else instead of falling in love with the process. Like, I was even lazy to try and track my trades because I just didn't even want to do that part of trading. You know what I mean? So like
Mm.
I wasn't really full of like my goal for this wasn't to be a better trader, wasn't to be considered, it was to get that money back. And so then one day I'm like, oh, not even one day. When you said that you were bringing out your trading journal, I'm like, okay, I have to get the trading journal, but I don't know if I'm going to really use it. Just not really super smart. So I get it, and I'm like, and at that time too, I was using TraderSync. But the thing with TraderSync is it captures numerical data. So I put my trades
Mhm.
in there from TDD, a married trade, and it'll tell me like my win percentage, and it'll tell me how much I did profit that much or how much I lost that much. But that's only so much. There's so many parts of trading of um journaling your trades, tracking your trades that need to be captured to actually make it effective. So you said
Yes.
so you said you're bringing it out, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna see if I'm gonna use this, da 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 da. And you're every single day you're saying it every single day. I actually started it a little bit before you started it with the group.
Mhm.
And so I was like, okay, let me do this. Like, what did I do this morning to prep me for this? And so it made me start to consciously think about what am I doing this morning to prep myself for trading? What am I doing this morning to make sure I'm prepared? What charts did I look at this week? Like, what charts am I looking at today to make sure I'm completely prepared? And so that was step one to make me actually look at what I look at myself and what I'm doing. So that was the first thing that I noticed, like, I kind of wake up a little bit later than I should. Maybe I
Uh-huh.
should. Maybe
Mhm.
I should wake up at like maybe like 2 hours before. I know I only look at SPY because when I after a while, I was like, I mean, I'm not looking at so many charts in the morning anymore. Like, I could just really wake up like maybe 30 minutes, maybe, okay, not 30 minutes, but maybe like an hour and like look at SPY. But I don't know, just that calmness of waking up, doing certain things like even having an apple and tea is part of my mornings now. And I see that that helps me when I'm trading. I mean, just different things. So stuff like that. So I started tracking stuff like that. I started tracking what are the conditions of the market and stuff like coming up with the thesis, right? Those little things really started to help my trading. And I'm like, okay, so the trading journal actually started to become more of a mental and emotional tracker for me, which was amazing because that's something, like I said, I get super overwhelmed sometimes. Some of my weaknesses are like I get super antsy, things like that. And now I was able to write down what made me feel like that. Why did I feel like this? And like I said, TraderSync was the only thing I had before. So I wasn't able to track all those. And then I went ahead and paired the journal with actually recording my trades. So now every single trade that I take is recorded. From the
Mhm.
moment that I sit in front of the computer, I hit screen record on my computer and I record my whole entire session. After
Mhm.
I record my session, I go back and review I do a voiceover and review every single trade that I took that day, pair it with the Wealth Wells journal, and then I can now see my numerical data with TraderSync. So that's how I track my trading now. And when I say it has revolutionized my trading, it's like, no, wait, because now I can really see everything that's happening. Oh, Jess, when you woke up super late today, or when you didn't have X, Y, and Z this morning, you felt like this, and you continuously feel like this every single time you do this. Oh, Oh, Jess, when there's FOMC meetings or really big meetings on a day, you do really bad on those days. Don't trade on those days anymore. Oh, okay. And all these little things that I had or that I was doing that I could not notice at first, I could really look back and see what was going on, down to setups. There was setups that were working that I didn't know that worked so well, and there were setups that weren't working that I didn't know that worked so terribly that I could now see. And it's just like a whole new world had opened up to me. And now I was becoming a real trader. Like, I feel like now, in the past, what, like 3 months, I even need a new trading journal. I finished mine because like I said, I started a little bit earlier. I feel like I need excuse me. Yeah, now only do I feel like, oh wow, I am actually doing this thing.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice, nice, nice.
I know
Well, I
that was
got it.
long, but
No, 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 no. That's from the heart. No, that's from the
yeah,
heart.
it really was. It really
You
was from
know,
the heart. I hope I answered your question. Did I
you
answer
did,
it?
you did.
Oh,
No,
okay,
no, no.
okay. Yeah.
We're just kicking it. You know, and this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
important for everyone. You know why? I'm going to tell you why it's important. All right. Now, I realize, and
Mhm.
I want to make this. We're going to probably make this one here. We'll make it available to the public here in the Discord somewhere. You know, I'll put another audio channel, and we'll make a few available, possibly. But I realize there's a lot of junk out there.
Mhm.
And I realize there's also all kinds of folks. There's some people that agree with my methodology, some people that don't, some people who have their own way, some haters, scammers, people trying to, I realize that. So when you say to a person, hey, I have a tracking method and a physical way to track to improve you, you know what they'll say? Oh, this is trash, or just write this down or whatever. Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay, all right. Others will say, well, you know, they're using a digital, and that's okay. But as stated, what gets measured gets improved.
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
here's the difference. I never told you what gets recorded gets improved.
Mhm.
You can collect data, but if you don't know how to sift it, if you don't know how
Mhm.
to quantify the data, you can't get better. So here's an example of what I mean. In the day trading journal, okay, I can't put a million things in the journal. So I put the absolute critical things there. All right. So on the daily trade tracker page, we have the days of the week at the top. We have the date. To the left, we have market conditions, thesis, risk management plan, news, etc. We got some other data points. Then, you know what's interesting? After many of our data points, right there in the middle of the page, before we start to log our trades, we got emotions. How
Mhm.
do I feel about trading? And then some other things that talk about intentions. And then on our daily recap, right? At the end of the day, and we do this inside the Killer Whales, you grade yourself, and then we develop some notes on that and we track it. And then there's a weekly, there's a quarterly, and then there's a weekly, monthly, and quarterly recap. Now, here's my point. Traders don't really, when they first start trading, and you've it's happened to you, it's happened to others. I see folks commenting in the Discord, it's happened to them. They don't really believe. They don't really believe that what I'm saying to them in this area of the journal and other is like the truth. They don't really believe it. And would you agree that once you actually started to do the things that I've taught, you saw immediate progress and started to get better? Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me even tell you about this one aha moment. So before I got into the Discord, I had been in other Discord. So the way that I traded was completely different. And, every single day, just watching you and, taking all the trainings and all that stuff, it just sinks in. And just listening to you, listening to the stuff that you say, it sinks in, the ones that we do want to grab, the ones that we don't want to grab. So I remember it was like a slow transition for me over to VVP. It wasn't like I knew, because for me, it's like I was holding on to what I do know, the knowledge that I did have. I'm like, I can't completely, when I first came in, Katie, I'm like, let me see what this guy's really talking about.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
it's either a real deal for real. So I couldn't let go of everything. And I remember one day I was doing a voiceover recording for one of my trades. And then I was like, oh, so then I'm looking for this, and volume has to kick in. Like, this is we're really volatile here. And yeah, price action. Here goes a shooter, da 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 da. And I'm like, this is the reason why I got in the trade. Whatever I said. And I'm like, wait a minute. Did I just use BVP? Like, I didn't use use the 200, like, and you could see in the improvement in my recordings, because I would be like, okay, it got over the 200 here, or it did this here, and it did that here. And then it was just one day, I'm like, no, volume needs to kick in here. And that's why I got in the trade, or volume kicked in here, and that's why I got in the trade. Level 2 was confirmed. And I'm like, that's VVP. And I say it in the video. If I'm going to go back and see if I can find it, and I literally say, I'm like, I just completely use VVP for this. Like, I'm using VVP. What? Yeah. So literally, if you stick to everything you said, you really see the improvement.
If I'm lying, I'm dying. But hey,
if you're lying, you're dying.
Right? People have to see it. It's on them. Yeah. Which is why, I let the folks that want to find the Discord and they want to find this way to trade effectively, I let them find it. But I am a massive believer in journaling and not just using a blank notebook. I am a massive believer in structuring what you have to develop the right KPIs for different sets. So for example, I have a day trading journal that is going to be for day trading. I have a swing trading journal that's only going to measure metrics for swing trading. There are some similarities, but there's a different mindset. A swing trader is not a day trader. Most people in a lot of these Discords, they are swing traders at best. Like at the very best, that's what they look for these setups and they want to swing it. And the idea here is, well, we'll hit our target today, tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. They don't have the mindset necessarily to execute a day trade every single day, right? So this, what we're talking about, this is that deal. Okay. Day trading isn't like, this is the most difficult part of the market.
Yes.
I'm telling everybody here, you can make an extreme amount of money, but I have never, ever painted the picture like this is just super easy. I have simplified it to give you guys the nitty gritty and the nuts and bolts. And if you just do it day after day after day after day, you will get improvement. But the reality is, most people, when they find these Discords, they're swing trading Discords. They're not designed for you to learn and get what you need to day trade. Okay, so let's move to another one. I'll tell you what. How about we talk a little bit about the power of consistency, because having a journal, I saw some folks too, and I appreciate you guys' honesty. Some people have a journal. They got the Wealth Wells Day Trade Journal, but they're not using it. Right? Let's talk about consistency. Any words of wisdom there, or something that's helped you be consistent?
Yes. So when it comes to consistency, I think after you learn the market, after you take the trainings, after you do all the technical stuff, all of that, it goes really back into consistency, just showing up every single day and doing it every single day. You speak a lot about, like, you got to get to the place where trading even feels robotic, and that only really comes with doing something all the time and making it feel habitual. And I feel like one of the most important parts about my journey right now is that I've been doing this every single day, even though I have some breaks, some mental breaks or things like that. I've been doing it consistently every single day for the past 2 years, just getting better. Listening to you every morning, Killer Wells, or even when I was just in the SPY only options room, listening to you every single day after taking the training, showing up every single day, seeing it every single day, seeing SPY every single day. After a while, so it becomes repetitive. And I remember you comparing trading to the gym, and it has never left my mind since. You were like, think about trading as the gym. And so I really take trading in as the gym every single day. I'm going to go get better. There's no way I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow and see myself fully today. And see like the results fully today. So I take it as that. Like sometimes my mom will ask me like, oh, Jessie, like how's trading going? And at first it used to make me real anxious, because I'm like, oh my gosh, you want like $10,000 right now? Like, oh my gosh, I gotta go and make $10,000 today and like give it to you. But I started to realize in myself, like, it's okay to say it's going well and take it in as like this is my gym every single day. I have to do this every single day for a long period of time to get better at it. And so I really take it in as like, this is just every single day I'm putting in my hours. I'm putting in that work in to get to the bigger picture, which I will one day get to. So the power of consistency is is really powerful when it comes to trading. You just have to stick to it and just continue doing it every single day.
Yep, yep. And
That's
I couldn't agree with you more. Plugging into a system, plugging
Mhm.
into a community, and
Yep.
before you know it, if you actually do the work. Now, this I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest. There are some people listening to this right now. You know who you are. They're knuckleheads. They're
Yes.
knuckleheads. They're not really buying into it. And my hopes, no matter if you stick around in this Discord or you stick around this community, my hopes is that you walk away with one thing to help you. But if you do buy into what we're talking about here, right? Not going to cost you anything but work, right? If you actually do it, then you will absolutely reap the results and the rewards and become a successful trader. That's
Yeah.
the idea
Yep.
here. You will get there.
And it's
Um,
just like anything else. Like you say that all the time too. Like it's if it's a sport, if it's school, if it's anything else, you have to continue doing it. Like you said, get a system, stick to the system, a community, and show up every single day. That's like one of the biggest secret sauces to trading. I feel like the Lamborghinis and everything on Instagram makes it seem so instant. Like you get into the market and it's so instant. You make $1 million, and so a lot of people do fall off, and there's a lot of people out there picking up bad systems because there's a lot of people giving out a lot of bad things. So
Man, those Lamborghinis can be rented. Now, come on now. Come on now. You know what's interesting too? I don't want to get too far off topic here, but what's interesting is people's idea of what success looks like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't tell you how many people ask me in what kind of car I drive or house or this, that, and the third.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is it's all relative. Now, I'm not saying that, you don't have some toys, but what I am saying is when you learn, it doesn't have to be from me, but when you learn from someone in general, figure out what they're leading with. Are they leading with lifestyle or are they leading with information?
Mm-hmm.
Big difference between saying, hey man, you can drive around this Lamborghini, or hey, look, here are the skills, right? Here are the skills you need to get to where you need to be. But I understand, especially for the younger generation, it's a motivator. They've said that to me. I've heard that it's a motivator and it's something that attracts them. So I get it. But I'm here to tell them, that generation and everyone, that the process, the skills pay the bills. The skills make the meals. If you develop the skills in the market, you're going to be fine. All right. So let's talk about this then. I know that you've had a nice journey, and this is a beautiful journey. I enjoy watching all of the traders, especially those who really have taken the time to sit down with me and just one-on-ones and etc. I know that there's some strengths and some areas of opportunity. So let's talk about that. What has been your strengths? And we won't call them weaknesses. We will call them areas of opportunities. Okay. So what's your strength and weakness or areas of opportunities in your journey?
So my strengths that I will say right now is I know my setups. Right now, I know what setups work. I have rules that are set in place for my trades. Just going back to the trading journal again, there's even a rule that I have that I can't trade the last and first, the last 30 seconds of a candle. And I mean, I don't even, it's just something that I consistently see, because you know how you make us put the time that we were in the trading journal. I just consistently saw that the last 30 seconds, I think it's more of a FOMO thing that happens, and it's just too volatile for me in the last 30 seconds of a candle. Anyways.
Hold on. Okay, we got to pause.
Okay.
So you know why, and I'm going to give you this. This is just some free game and free coaching right now. You ready? Okay. Now you may want to make a mental note or write this down. But you know why you're struggling with that. Why you say, I do not want to take the trade in the last 30 seconds of the counter. You know why? It's because in your data, you've honed in on entries and exits. Okay.
Yep.
And when the candle is getting ready to close on the time frame that you're watching, if it's not at your level, it does not represent the best entry. And so if you mine your data, if you drill down on your data, you'll see that instead of waiting, instead of just saying, okay, I don't want it on my candle close, why don't you start to use that same data, the candle close data, and look for its relation to the closest level. Okay. If there's a candle close here and I'm not getting in the last 30 seconds, where are you? Are you in the middle of a range or are you at your level? Because I'll bet you even if that candle was getting ready to close closer to a level and VVP lined up, I'll bet you it would be a good setup. Now, I'm not telling you to change your rules. I'm just putting context to why you're saying that. And oftentimes when if you haven't gotten in at the point that you want to get in and you hesitate and you wait and the candle is getting ready to close and you're not certain, then you get shaken out. You don't want to take the trade. But if the candle is going to close and it's at your level, we took a trade today. The call out was made. Let me just go back here. The call out was made that's 11 o'clock. I'm at 10 o'clock, 10:05, right, to take a fade. Now, why did I take the fade? So if you're looking at your charts, guys, and we're going to do this, this is just throwing this in there. I don't normally do this, but because you mentioned it, beast mode, I know it will help. Why did I take the trade? All right, I took the trade, 10 o'clock. We understood what market sentiment was. We knew, okay, there's going to be some very chippy, low volume today. So I saw a rush of volume come at 9:40 to about 9:45 to the upside. We took the early morning dump to the downside, profit. Then we get a rush of volume to a key level. So think about this. I know we got a rush of volume. I know it's key level, but I do not believe this move is sustainable this early in the day. Then I get the confirmation in the chat. Everybody, what kind of candle is that at 10 o'clock? What kind of candle do you see on the 5-minute? Go to the 5-minute chart on SPY. 10 o'clock. Do you see any indication that there's weakness coming into the market right there? Anybody? Yes, you see it. Therefore, I have to take the trade. So whether I get in right there at the apex of that candle, at the close of that candle, either way, I understand I'm coming level to level. So my point to you is beast mode, keep doing what you're doing. I'm just giving context to it. Okay, if that candle closes, in your mind, you're like, okay, I don't have the best entry because technically it has passed the entry level.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So you're doing the right thing. I'm just putting context to why you're saying that.
Completely understand. Yeah, you completely understand. That's so weird when you just did that. It's like I'm thinking something, or how you even just took it and clearly explained exactly what happens and exactly why.
And I'm going to tell you why, because I've been there.
Yeah.
I totally have been down in those. Everything you're talking about, when you're talking about large losses, been there. When you're talking about and to the part where you're getting to where you make it all back. And I'm telling you, one of the best things, I don't wish this on anyone, but one of the best things that can happen to you is you getting your behind spanked a little bit by SPY. That's one of the best things. Now, it doesn't have to be a large loss, but if it is, you will learn. It will teach you something. It will teach you, right? And most people, especially those who are not greedy or have an addict behavior, most people, they become better traders from it.
Yeah. Because I feel like a better trader. I feel like I needed that one way, or like my mom would always say, like, I think you needed that to happen to you. I think you needed to lose it all. That's just part of the story for you to go and get it back.
So now from that, beautiful. So we talked about strengths and areas of opportunity. You know your setups, you take your setups.
Yeah.
So I let's just really highlight one other thing about your journaling, what it's, in order to identify those strengths and weaknesses or strengths and areas of opportunity, what do you track? Like, what's important to you? Obviously, there's metrics inside the trading journal, but if you had to name a few things, what's important to you? What do you track?
Well, all the metrics inside the trading journal, I track that. I track a lot of how I'm feeling. And I'm actually on a trade plan with you right now that I track, every single step. And when I say every single step of why I took a trade, why I exited a trade, after every trade, directly after every trade. So I track that. And I also track, numerical data. So how I'm feeling mentally, emotionally, every single step of my trade, and what setups are working the best.
Nice. Now, do you mind if we share some of your trade plan?
Oh, no, it's fine.
Yes, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make, just some of it, So I want to highlight just one part. What does your trade plan stipulate for when you take a loss?
So after I take a loss, I have to take a 5-minute break after every loss that I take.
how has that helped you, or how has this trade plan worked along with the journal? Like, what benefit has that been for you?
So another part of the trade, so the whole trade plan altogether, journaling, everything all together is really what's helping me right now. Because another part of the trade plan is that I cannot trade before 10:15.
Yep.
So all of those together, me being able to reset my mind, because something that happens when I lose a trade, I get real almost in revenge mode. In revenge mode, I get so antsy. It's like I'll have this whole big load of patience. I'll get in this trade and it doesn't work out, and it's like I rage, or not like I'm not like, banging on my computer trying to get into the next trade, but my mind is just off.
Whoa, we're not going to speed by that. Hold on, wait a minute. What is whoa, what is that? Is that you breaking your laptop?
No, yeah, you guys should have seen my arms. I'm like doing the Donkey Kong on the laptop.
Oh, okay.
Like, yes, like I'm like I'm not like that, but my mind is just not there anymore. And I was talking to Unc about it one day when we were just, meeting and reviewing how my trading is going. And he was like, yeah, you just need to just stop. Just after the trade, just stop. If you lost it, just stop. Reset yourself. Don't trade anything else, and then just come back to it. And I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, just wait at least 5 minutes before the trade. Now I kind of wait a little bit even longer. I'll wait like 10 minutes. And I honestly will do that even after my wins, because it's the same thing with my wins. My wins, I get a little too arrogant, and don't let me have a couple wins in a row. I mean, hey.
You're feeling like bossy, huh?
I mean, hey.
You're trying to go to the club and spend it.
Yes. Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Oh, no. So
I
guys, if you're wondering, and most of you guys know this, but those who listen for the first time, when Jay says Unc, many people in Discord call me Uncle or Uncle KD, right? Because I'm going to kick it with you straight. She's talking about a lot of the one-on-one sessions we've had, and just working through this stuff. Coaching through it, working through it, and I'm very happy to see the results. Now, one person in the Discord right now said, "Can you explain weaknesses again?" So, what were some of, if you can highlight some of your weaknesses or your areas of opportunities, whatever that you've worked through, maybe you can just share one or two of them with us again.
Yeah. So my biggest one, like I've stated, it's sometimes I get a little too antsy. I get impatient, or sometimes I'll even get overwhelmed in my head, especially if I'm sitting by the computer and an opportunity hasn't come yet. Sometimes I can start getting in my head thinking like, is it me? Am I not looking correctly? Is there something that I'm missing? Did I miss a trade? Or if I did miss a setup, because sometimes you'll see your setup or you'll see your entry, but it may not be completely everything that you want to see, or it just, sometimes you're just hesitant and you just don't take it. So stuff like that, I won't. And then that'll be in my mind like, oh, I missed the trade. So you say, you never miss a trade. You always say stuff like you never miss a trade. Like there's more opportunities to come.
Yep.
So I use that in my head as well as my mantra. So that's one of my, weaknesses. Another weakness of mine is, that's really like my main one. Oh, sometimes I'll get out too early. Because it'll just shake me out. Just me again overthinking in my head. My mind is a big part of me that I'm trying to control right now. If you haven't noticed, but those are like my main weaknesses that play into different ways of my trades. But yeah, just keeping my mind in control the whole time for that long period of time when you're trading, because I need absolute focus every single time I'm trading. So keeping my mind focused. Yep.
All right. So, we've discussed quite a bit of things, and all centering around the journal and journaling. There was something you mentioned earlier that I think if you've mentioned it, I just want to highlight it. You mentioned just how you learned a lot about yourself, and the market has revealed some things. So what are some things you've uncovered about yourself through reviewing your trades and your journal entries?
So I'm impatient, like really impatient. I mean,
Okay.
super impatient. I'm really super impatient. That plays into me feeling like I can learn everything. And when I want to learn something, I mean, or when I want to learn something or when I want to finish a task, I just have to do it. And in a lot of different areas in my life, I've been able to do that. And I mean, everything, every single thing that I've wanted to do, I've always been able to do it. You know, you put the right amount of determination in it. Anything else can really be done in like a month or 2 months. Like I've mastered, let's say different softwares that people will be like, oh, that's going to take like 6 months to learn. And I'm like, oh no, give me a month. I'm not going to go to sleep. I'm going to do this and master it. So there's like a little bit of impatience in there though, that I didn't really see or notice it as impatient. I don't really take time to like love and nurture a skill. And then I'm on to the next skill, on to the next skill, on to the next skill. But you just cannot do that with trading. You can't do that with trading. I'm not the most organized person all the time. And there is an organization, like I cannot just roll out of bed. I don't really
No.
I don't really have routine. I'm not really a routine person. I'm very spontaneous, fun, like, oh yes, let's do this. So, but those things don't work in everything. Like trading needs structures, trading needs a system, it needs a schedule, it needs, I can't just remember the trades that I have. I do have to journal it. I do have to stick to this, and I do have to do it consistently. So those are just a few things. I mean, it's just opened my eyes so much to like, wow, Jess, you are you got some things. You got some things. Yeah,
I thought you were going to say, Jess, you are a hot mess, but that's not true.
no, Jess, you're literally a hot mess. There's some
No,
other things.
no.
I'm just like, wow, trading has shown me that I need to get myself together.
Don't stop it. Come
I need to
on.
get
Oh, no.
I need to get myself
So,
together, but I like
I'll
it.
share this. I'll share this.
But I like
And
it.
I don't think you'll mind. So you and I have talked a lot about proper expectations. And I don't
Mhm.
know if it's something with your generation, I don't know, or if it's just something with the world. But to your point, people want it now.
Yes.
And their expectations are like, no, I got to get it. I want it. I want it now, now, now. And if I don't get it right now, I can't do it. And what's interesting about that behavior
Mhm.
is that I want it now behavior is cyclical.
Mhm.
And you never really get it now, but you stay in this cycle of trying to get it now. And before you know it, you'll look up in 5 years and you haven't gotten it, but you're still in the I want to get it now behavior.
Yes. 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 A million times. Yes. Like I'm spending more time. It's like my mom always says, as the day goes on, as the sun goes up and sun goes down, the day goes on, the day goes on. And I just noticed that I'm like running in place. I was running in place for a very long time. And like you said, 5 years will go by and you just don't even realize like this instant gratification of yours is not actually getting instantly gratified because you're actually not putting the work in to get to the actual place that you need to be. Oh man. Yeah.
That's how it works. And that's the unfortunate side of kind of the time period that we live in. And so that's why I'm very specific with my training and helping people. I'm very repetitive with it. And the Discord is curated in a certain way where it's very deliberate.
Mm-hmm.
So if you notice in our Discord, which I've gotten some pushback here and there, and we try to adjust to try to make sure that we can find a happy medium, but I don't have a pain and gains or a profit channel
Mm-hmm.
where people can just come in and post any kind of picture, whether they made it up or not, about how much money they make.
Right.
Why? Why don't I have that? Because we are going to celebrate consistency.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate you going 3 for 3, 4 for 4, 5 for 5, 10 for. We're going to celebrate you going 35 wins and 3 losses for the week in a green week. We're going to celebrate people going 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 weeks green. Do you know what that's like?
Right.
To have green months, month after month. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's what we should celebrate because the profits can always be adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
You can teach a person to gain more. But that's not what we're about. And so to your point, somebody in the Discord said they call it, their mother calls it the microwave generation, right? They want to heat it up fast and they want it. So sometimes, and we've talked about this in some other Mindset Mondays. So 2 things I'm gonna say. I remember we had a Mindset Monday and I think it was LSG talked about giving yourself some grace.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't leave you without giving you some advice and kicking it with you like the unk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Continue to give yourself some grace.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're young and you're sharp. Just
Thank
give
you.
yourself a little leeway in the time you need to learn. And I think that because you're journaling and you're writing it down, and it's not just metrics, but you got other things that the journal tracks as well. And you got the Discord, you got a system. Now it's getting to the point where you're just seeing yourself the way the market sees you
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to trading, and you understand what you need to work on to get better.
Yeah.
Right. So that's number one. And then the second thing is, I think we had another Mindset Monday. I think the last one was with Sonny. We talked about discipline, right? You cannot be a disciplined trader if you don't journal. And I'm not talking about letting a data capture service pull data.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. But I mean, like, did you enter in the metrics? That data capture service does not enter in if your dog died.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't enter in if you know, and I asked this in people, you know, in the Discord, I've asked nearly every person when they come to me for one-on-one, are you in a rush to make money?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I ask, well, only you know the truth. And you need to write that down. Yeah, I'm in a rush. And we got to start there.
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, the people that get frustrated and go on off somewhere and never really face that fact, they never become successful in the market.
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing the right thing. I mean, you know, it's just a journey. And so fall in love with the process of becoming great. That's how it works. All right. So we've talked about a lot, and we've discussed the trading and trading journal and how it helps. And I think we got a chance to really get to know you and understand a lot about you. And I think a lot of us see ourselves in you. A lot of us see just our journey. I certainly have been there. Large sums of money lost, large sums of money gained, and until you get to a point where you're just consistent. So that's probably why I'm able to speak to these things the way I do.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. I've hit certain ceilings. Like, man, I cannot get my account over this point.
Mm-hmm.
Or trade frequencies. Like, man, after I get this many trades, I'm going to take a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. The only way to get through it is to journal. So you have any words of wisdom or final thoughts you want to share with us today?
I think the only thing that I will say is I'm right here with y'all. I'm growing as a trader. It's actually so beautiful to see how my personal life and my trading life are going hand in hand right now. I'm here with y'all. It's going to take a lot of time, not a lot of time, but having a system, journaling, tracking yourself, watching yourself grow, falling in love with the process is, I feel like, and being consistent with it is, I think, the main things that are going to help us get to where we all want to go, which is just to be consistently profitable traders. It's not about the money size, as you say all the time. You can always change the money about. It's really about the fundamentals of just being consistent, being able to produce, being able to execute well, and just sticking to it. If you show up, you go up. So
if you show up, you go. All right. So listen, guys, we're going to close it down here. I'm going to leave you with one phrase that impressed me, that I'm forever going to remember J Beast Mode by. And J Beast Mode says, she's looking at charts at the club. All right, y'all. I'll see you guys. We're going to get to trading live for the rest of the day. I'll holler at you later. J Beast Mode and KD signing out.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.